Bahrain, the only island state in the Middle East, was the first to discover oil and the first to recognize the need to develop a post-oil economy. It has always been a major hub of trades with its rich and long history. Today, it is at the confluence again of many different global crossroads. Its progress towards modernity has been influenced and informed by the shifting demographic composition. Bahrain's economic progress is reliant on foreign labor, as evident in Bahrain's population growing increasingly international, with peak influxes in the 80s and 2000s. Today, only half the population is national Bahrainis. Islam is the dominant religion of the nation, and half the foreigners are Muslim. The population-gender ratio is imbalanced due to the large influx of young male migrant workers. Women in Bahrain were conferred the same rights as men in 2002, but still experience limits in their rights culturally and professionally. They represent a large proportion of the student population in higher education, yet comprise only 21% of the workforce. Bahrain's economy has been in transition since the 70s, with almost no agricultural activity. Its main economic generator is in the services and industrial sectors. This creates a high-wealth society with low unemployment. Its diverse economy focuses on growth in heavy manufacturing of aluminum, finance, and banking. However, migrant workers hold 98% of low-paying jobs and are paid far less. Bahrain is ill-equipped to migrant workers, but has voiced its intention to improve enforcement conditions as a member of the International Labour Organization. This calls into question the definition of public spaces in Bahrain, their physical dimension, and how they shape and are informed by social and cultural exchange.
And of course there are so many fires which happens in these labor camps because of no safety, no protection, and we are trying to help, and we're getting lots of donation from all the business companies, and from banks we are getting all help.
How big is this problem in Bahrain, the problem of not respecting migrant workers' rights?
It's very big. But it's much better than, let's say, before 5-6 years. The problem with migrant workers is that I feel it's one sort of human trafficking, because companies are making so much money by employing cheap labor.
Although most life in tropical waters is concentrated around the coral reefs and the seagrass meadows, there are some spectacular exceptions. The desert of Bahrain seems a very unlikely place to find a crowded, bustling colony of seabirds. But every year, 100,000 Socotra cormorants gather here to breed. It's swelteringly hot, and only vigorous panting can prevent the birds from fatal overheating. This hardly seems a good place to rear young. But at least there are no land-based predators here. The only source of trouble is likely to be the neighbours. So each nest is built just beyond pecking reach. But what about food? There's only bare sand and the warm, shallow sea beyond. Neither seem likely to produce enough nourishment to support bird life on this scale. The answer is blowing in the wind. Sand, whipped up by Shamal's offshore winds, blows into the seas of the Arabian Gulf. With the grains come nutrients, which act as fertilizer, and they transform the shallow sea into a rich fishing ground. So, paradoxically, it's the roasted sands of Arabia that prevent the Gulf from being another desert in the sea.